everybody, good morning. Akakura here. We're back today with some Try Hack Me. I hope you're all having a good morning. Fun morning. I went ahead. The only two rooms that I completed, or excuse me, let me backtrack. We're doing some Try Hack Me today. And it snows every time you touch their logo. All right. Anyway, Reese, we're on the junior penetration tester path, and we're in the network security section. Is that what it's called? Let's go back. Learn paths, junior penetration tester, network security. Yeah. So as you can see, I did the first 3 rooms, but I reset the progress because at the end is a challenge, and we're probably going to get to that today. And so I want to make sure that I, go over some of this. This is also relevant for what I'm doing for studying for the exam, although a small portion of it. You don't really do too much network scanning with web app hacking, but it is useful for scanning the open ports for, where is it? Where did it say? It might say in the room. Oh yeah, like HTTP, SMTP, just to see what they have, So we're going to go over this network security. We're going to do passive recon, and we're going to go through all these and do them up. So let's throw some music on. It's for me too. I'm going to be listening to it also. Hope you guys are having a good day. All right. I don't even have to mess with it. It just turned on for me. Well, hold on. We'll listen to this for a little bit, and then I'll put on the more chilled out music playlist that I was making these. So our first task is the introduction. This is the first room of the network security module. Shut your fucking pie hole, Robot. Nobody wants you. Nobody likes you. You suck. Get out of my face. Okay. Sorry about that. I really dislike these things. It's PS to all you web developers out there, all you companies out there. Yet another fucking pop-up that I have to deal with and tell to shut the hell up and go away. Thanks. I appreciate it, you dicks. All right, that's my rant over, hopefully. Probably not, but still. Anyway, welcome to the first room of the network security module, and this module covers passive and active reconnaissance, your in-map basics, port scans, advanced port scans, basic port scans, and live host discovery. Bring over protocols and servers 1 and 2, and we're going to have a challenge at the end of it. So we're going to use everything that we learned from all of these, and we're going to have to do a challenge of some sort. Probably find a bunch of flags by, or these ones are always, like these types of rooms are always a little bit more real world. Because oftentimes you're not getting like a, what did it say? You're not getting like a Try Hack Me with the little thing and the little message inside. It says, right? It's not like that. It's more like, hey, you did this scan on this IP range or whatever that we told you, what port is open or what service is open on, whatever port, or what service is open, and then they'll ask another question like, what port is it on? So that trains you a little bit better to look out for the things, even though I have shown you all that I'm absolutely horrible at reading over something or looking at a piece of data and then missing stuff, I will refer you back to my second Juice Shop stream where I took the quotes out of a web request and then spent the next 3 hours banging my head against the wall trying to figure out what I did. 9 times out of 10, it's always you. Assume you're the problem. You know what I mean? It's up a little bit better. Sorry, I have to set my stopwatch because I time myself doing this, not like to make not to see how fast I can do it, but to make sure that I get a proper amount of time in without excuse me, without I don't want to not meet my goals or whatever. So first, this is to query the whois servers, NS lookup to query DNS servers. These are all important. And dig, there's tools that we have as web application hackers that do this for us. Namely, like the Tom Nom Nom tools. He has very good tools. Do I have those here? No, I don't. Those are on my hack box. I always get my stuff confused because I've switched and re-switched and changed things up, and I used to have all things on a different computer. Now I have it on another one. Some of the stuff that I had here on this one that I'm using to stream, I had all my hack stuff in a profile on there too, so it gets all jumbled in my brain. And so sorry if my voice is raspy or whatever. Well, usually is. I'll try to drink water throughout here. So we use whois to query the whois records, while we use NS lookup and dig to query DNS database records. These are all publicly available records, and hence they do not alert the target. Yeah, this is stuff that people look up all the time. If you need to connect your stuff to other people's stuff, it's like a normal thing. It's like a developer tool. So we'll also learn the usage of the 2 online services, DNS Dumpster and Shodan.io. If I recall correctly, Shodan used to be like a government-only thing back in the day. I don't know. I can't remember. I know it's a web crawler. Like you can go on here and you can find, you can go find like a Russian security camera that has the default credentials on it and go and mess with their stuff. I've seen a lot of people do that. I would not suggest it. Again, the disclaimer at the beginning of the video. I don't encourage illegal or illicit activities. All right, so those 2 online services allow you to connect or to collect information about your target without directly connecting to it. So this room requires basic networking knowledge along with basic familiarity with the command line, the modules, network fundamentals, and Linux fundamentals, which we took all together. Oh, and I figured out why some of these courses that I took off some of the things that I had already done. Like I've already done these. I did an entire module just on Nmap, just like I took one for Burp Suite. And the reason why is because it was from a older course that they no longer offer, so they took it off there. So it must have took my progress off, and that's why I have a 7-day streak badge, but I don't have the 3-day. So probably stuff got lost when they were switching over some stuff. Might have been connected to some of those courses that I took before they changed them to what they are now. So we have all that done. So great, this thing does not have a target VM. It's going to be mostly informational. And yeah, we will need to start the attack box. We'll do that. It's up here. Or we have to scroll all the way back down. So it's starting a machine. So we did that. Hey, come on now. Start with me. Thanks. Okay, so I just got that badge then, huh? I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to. I'm not trying to. So, this room expects you to have a... Yep. No, I'm good. I don't know that. For the dawn of computer systems and networks. You know the enemy and know yourself. Victory. Oh my god. Academic warriors bother me so much. I suppose I was one before I got experience. If you are playing the role of an attacker, you need to gather information about your target system. It's called recon. If you're playing the role of defender, you need to know what your adversary will discover about your system and networks. Oh gosh, look at that. Yeah, preliminary survey to gather information about a target. It's the first step in the unified kill chain. It's going to get you. Alright, gain an initial foothold on a system, we divide reconnaissance into passive and active. Passive reconnaissance, you rely on publicly available knowledge, and it is the knowledge that you can access from publicly available resources without directly engaging with the target. I was talking on some of this in the gaming stream that I was doing yesterday, talking about how there are a lot of things that you do as a web app hacker during the recon phase where it's not even considered hacking. And so I can show those parts on the targets or companies that I'm hacking for bug bounty. But when I actually get to the point where I actually start performing the actual hacking tasks, I can't do that on stream because it would violate the terms of service of the platform that I'm doing it on, or platforms that I'm doing them on, and also the company's disclosure guidelines too. So passive reconnaissance activities include many activities. For instance, looking up DNS records of a domain from a public DNS server, checking job ads related to the target website, reading news articles about the target company. Active reconnaissance, on the other hand, cannot be achieved so discreetly. It requires direct engagement with the target. Think of it like you check the locks on the doors and windows, among other potential entry points. That's true. That open. Hopefully I don't spill my drink. Okay. Examples of these active reconnaissance activities include connecting to one of the company's servers, such as HTTP, FTP, and SMTP, calling the company in an attempt to get information, social engineering. This is oftentimes, unless you're doing specific pen testing or red teaming, that's usually off limits. And so is this. So none of those I've done. I just do stuff. So you visit a Facebook page for a target company hoping to get some of their employee names. What kind of reconnaissance is this? This is passive because it's on the internet you don't have to interact with the company or jiggle the locks, as it were. So you ping an IP address of a company web server to check if ICMP traffic is blocked. What kind of reconnaissance is this? This is going to be active. Okay. If you happen to meet an IT administrator or the target company at a party, you try to use social engineering to get more information about their systems and network infrastructure. What kind of reconnaissance is this? This is going to be active too, because it's over here. Social engineering, active. Okay, on to the who is. Task number 3. Who is a request and response protocol that follows RFC 3912 specification. Who is server listens on TCP port 43 for incoming requests. The domain registrar is responsible for maintaining the WHOIS records for the domain names it is leasing. The WHOIS server replies with various information related to the domain requested. Of particular interest, we can learn this, which registrar or the domain name was registered. So there's different, you can go like, it'll tell you like Wix, or I don't know what a lot of the other ones are, but like just say like Amazon AWS or stuff like that. So it gives you the contact info. So whoever the person is that owns that, most of the time it will be an organization with the name of whoever their person is that's the contact for it. And then it will have the company address and a phone that they can be reached at. And then, of course, unless it can be a privacy service. Yep. Has the creation date, update, and expiration dates. And it gives you the name, domain name. So to get this information, we need to use a WHOIS client or an online service. So we're going to be using a terminal here. And you use this, the syntax is WHOIS and then the domain. So you can do WHOIS, Google, Yahoo, Amazon, whichever you like. I forget that you could. So if you want a faster experience on TryHackMe, it is way better to use your own VM and connect it to their services. And then instead of an attack box, you'll attack directly from your computer. And, like yesterday, or not yesterday, you guys didn't see yesterday, the day before yesterday, or whenever I did the last TryHackMe stream, you saw it was like really slow. Like this is really slow too. You don't have that problem if you're using your own stuff. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go. And this probably will take a minute. Okay. So give us a bunch of information you see here. So they use Namecheap. Here's the creation and update date. Here's when it expires. That's another type of bug that you can do. You can go find when these, I forget what it's called. It'll probably say it here actually, like when we get down lower. But you can say that it was like support.tryhackme and then their stuff expired. You can go buy it, that domain, and then you can what people do is they use it so when people visit that, it goes to your stuff. I forget what there's a name for it, that's a bug, but like they generally don't like do that in some instances. So we don't need to know what it's telling us. We have all that information, so we can see plenty of information. We will inspect them in the order displayed. First, we notice that we are redirected to whois.namecheap. So that's this right here. Okay. And in this case, at the time being, Namecheap is maintaining the Whois record for this. Furthermore, we can see the creation date along with its last update and expiration date. So that's all that stuff we just did. Okay. So we can obtain information about the registrar and the registrant. We can find the registrant's name and contact information. So you see that, registrant, active for privacy. Huh. In Reykjavik. Okay. So when was the tryhackme.com registered? So we'll go up here. Creation date. Is it? Okay, that's another thing too. These guys, do they take that weird what do you call it? European style of date system? Date, month, day. Fucking heathens. What registrar is a tryhackme.com? So .com. I think it is Namecheap. Which company is tryhackme using for the name servers? Oh, it's right here. Right in front of my face. What I was trying to do is I was making sure that it wasn't under this, but it literally says name server right there. So cloudflare.com. Okay. We cleared that out. If you want to know how to do that without, you can, if you typed in something, so I pressed the up button to redo the last command. I hit enter, and it's going to give us all that information again. Eventually. Okay. So, instead of typing to clear out the thing, you can hold Control and L, and then it does that too. So it's like the quick hotkeys for that stuff. Next, we're going to use NS lookup and dig. Yeah, we know what we did. We just did it. Okay. Yeah. So find the IP address of a domain using NS lookup. Yeah. So we'll do that for. So gives you all the addresses for all their servers, and that's just that one. Say if they have, I'm gonna try this. I don't know if this will work. can't find that one. What if there's one? I don't know, but if they have one. But there's different. There's oftentimes different addresses for different the subdomains too. Okay. Let's look up options, domain, server. So these three main parameters are options that contains a query shown in the table. For instance, you can use A for IPv4 and that one for IPv6. That's a way that you can kind of like hide things from your ISP. So your ISP, right? Bring up Paint. Let me spare you the eye cancer, the white screen of doom. So your ISP, right? You have your computer at home, right? And you got your little mouse, your stuff, right? And then it goes to your router. And then if your ISP has a router, like a cable modem or whatever like that, then it goes out to their servers, their DNS servers. And so when you do all that, like all that line, it goes in and out of their stuff. But if you instead put something here and make it go this way, then they don't see your stuff. I mean, they still can because they have this, but some people don't like their ISPs. I'm gonna hide that from them. There's reasons why you would do that too. Besides, like crazy ones. They're selling your data. They collect it and they say, hey, this person here at this address, this age, this whatever, and then they sell it to the data brokers. Oh, hold on. I might have to. Apologies. I had to step away for a minute. I had two of my chickens got killed either this morning or last night. I don't know which. I think it was earlier this morning, but I didn't hear a thing, which means it was probably a cat. So if I have to run out here real quick or you hear my dog barking or whatever, I might have to go deal with a wild animal destroying my flock of chickens. Say no big deal, but or let the animals do what they want. But here's the thing, man, that's $400 a chicken, just an egg cost over 2 years, and it takes 4 to 6 months of work to get those chickens up to laying eggs. So you can keep your city person BS the hell out of my face. That's how we roll in the rural areas. I'm sorry, but every McChicken and every chicken sandwich you ever ate at Chick-fil-A or any of those other places, that's what's required to get you that stuff. So don't you be whining at me. None of you. Alright. So moving on. So we're looking at the options for the NS lookup. Is that what that is? Yeah, NS lookup. And you can look up these specific results that you want to. So we can look specifically. Here we go. And it gives you the syntax for that too. So we'll go NS lookup. Equals. And we'll do CNAME. Hackney. Oh, come on. So, if we can spell it right. So it says we don't know what that means, man. Okay. Oh, did we not specify the DNS server we want? Oh, that's right, because it's Cloudflare. So and it's not TryHackMe, it's tryhackme.com. See, I do that all the time. Forget to type the things in. So let's try that again with what we were looking at for before. And we'll just change this A to C. Make sure it's spelled right. Okay, so you get information specifically. What's next? Mail servers. So we can see that TryHackMe's current email configuration uses Google, since MX is looking up mail exchange servers. So we notice that with all the mail servers tries to deliver email at TryHackMe. Yeah, we'll try to connect to that. So now it wants us to do a dig, and we'll go dig. Look for the mail servers. Here's all the information it gives to us. So we need to look up text, so we're going to go just look up type equals txt hat see if we can get the flag. Nope. So we'll do dig. What's the other one? It's right in front of me again, isn't it? Always missing stuff. What happens? We're gonna go upgrade the DNS server. Using the DAC box, use the NS lookup or dig command to get the information. So check the TXT records. Oh, that's why, because I'm not doing it right. Of course. I told you. Always do it. THM Labs. And that gives us that. Of course. Not playing games with me, computer. I already did. How kind of them. DNS dumpster. DNS lookup tools such as NS lookup and dig cannot find subdomains on their own. So there's a site for this. Called CertSH. We'll look up a bunch of subdomains for you. Look up a bunch of stuff for you if you're interested. So the domain you're looking at included a different subdomain that can reveal information on the target. for instance, of trihack.com, subdomain, wiki, webman. We'll learn more about these too as they can hold trove information on your target. So when you're doing all this stuff, you're running it through these tools. They have tools that do this, right? They'll go through and they'll get all this information, and then you'll go and you'll get all this information. You'll compile a gigantic list of stuff, and then you'll run it through a series of other tools that determines whether or not it's an actual one, because stuff like this, where like this wiki, I don't know if that's a real one, and I don't know if the webmail is a real one for TryHack, but they're always making and like spinning up and winding down these different subdomains all the time as things go on. And you know, an example of this would be like if you go to a website and it has like some sort of Christmas sort of thing going on, you know, they might spin up like a competition domain.com thing, and then when that's done, they'll remove it. So you have to figure out what is alive and what's not, and then when you get through that, then you can start running these little tools like this on that entire word list that you get. And it depends on the target. Like if you go to, we'll go to new active platforms, go here. You know, some of these are really, 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 really small, and others are very large. Like see here. So right off, so this is Pepsi VDP. They have 85 wild cards in this one. And if you go to their scope, right, there are 216 domains and subdomains for this particular company. That is insane. So when you start out and you're going through all of these different sites, and then, you know, I mean, it takes a long time just to get the information you're looking for. And then you go to some of these ones where, like, they're new. Let's just do program. We'll do VDP search, and we'll go newest programs. See this one here. This is actually one that I actually consider doing. They only have 2, right? So there's only 2 of these that are actually, you know, available. But and this star means different subdomains. So you can go and anything like this. So if we go, let's go to. We'll just show you real quick. Go to Google. Oh. Okay. So we'll search that. So we see www, and we'll go minus www. And we'll scroll down a little bit more. And we'll go minus careers. So this is called Google dorking. We'll go minus dev. And you can see as time goes on. Where does it show you how many? So I don't want to. But anyway, you can keep doing this again and again and again and again until you get all of the subdomains that popped up. So that's one way that you can go and look. But on targets like this, very easy, because they only have 2 of these initial things that you have to look at. But if you go on back on Pepsi, it's 216 that you have to find. So that can get insanely crazy. And there's tools that do all of this stuff, like DNS dumps and all of that. What's this? Nom nom nom. HTTP probe, asset finder. So he has a number of tools, asset finder and wayback URLs and HTTP probe I've used quite a bit. See his repositories, he has 105 of them. But he has like a number of DNS ones. Like he has a tool here, make JSON greppable, so you can access it from the command line. Wayback URLs is a good one. There's one that I was trying to. He has a DNS one that I can't remember. It's on my hack box. I downloaded all the different tools. My hack box, it's just a Ubuntu box, but it's got like nearly as much stuff on it as like Kali Linux does. And the reason why I use the Ubuntu is because it's more user friendly. Like there's a lot of people that have it, and so if there's problems that go on, it's easier to fix, and it doesn't get flagged as much when you're using that, as opposed to like when you connect to, like when I connected to TryHackMe, it knows that I'm using, like we can actually do this right now. Maybe it'll let us. We'll open up Burp Suite here. I know I'm getting off track with this and everything, but what kind of a hacker man would I be if I didn't nerd out and tell you guys about some of the stuff? If it'll even start. It might not start, but just because it might not be expecting us to use it on this one. But I might be able to. See, I have it on mine too. I don't know. At least it's not glitching out anymore. Wow, bro. Give everybody eye cancer. I made a video on this, a tiny video, a tutorial video, on how to eliminate the eye cancer that is Burp Suite. If I were president, I would make it illegal, punishable by flogging, for any website to not have dark mode as the default setting, or to have it available, and to have it available. So you go up to the top, you go up to the top, you go to Burp, go to settings, user interface, display, and then you do light to dark. I forgot why I was what I was going to show you guys on this, so it might not have been important. And then this is how you proxy settings. Burp browser, allow Burp to run without a sandbox. We don't need it. We don't need it, I said. We're going to go to Google. And we're just trying to get it to pick up that so we can get the web request, right? But you can see here that there is a buttload of information. Okay, so we're using Firefox. That's what I was talking about. It knows the user agent that you're using, right? So, well, we were actually using Chrome, but it detects. So if you're using a different web browser, they'll know. These websites will know, and it also sends other information about your system too. You might see here it says Chrome. It says Windows NT. Right. So it knows your system and all that when you're, and that's like over that's normal internet protocol. That's not like them trying to steal your data or anything like that. It's just like normal stuff. So just so you guys know. But if I were a company, anybody that was using Kali, I would have my my systems, the SIEMs and the ELKs and the IPSs that they use. Those are the tools that they use to detect hackers and mitigate hackers and everything like that. I would have them flag every single time that somebody connected with that particular thing. You know, and then you can configure those to do a crazy amount of, you know, stuff. So if somebody was doing a particular set of things like an Nmap scan, which we're going to go over a little bit later, they would flag it, and they would be able to know that you're starting to do that. So, all right, so back to the actual course and why we're here. Now, DNS lookup tools such as NS lookup and dig cannot find some domains on their own. The domain you're inspecting might include a different subdomain that can reveal much information about the target. For instance, if TryHackMe has the subdomains wiki, TryHackMe, or webmail TryHackMe, then you want to learn more about these two. They can hold a trove of information about your target. I think we already read all that. There is a possibility that one of these subdomains has been set up and not updated regularly. That's true. Lack of proper regular updates leads to vulnerable web servers. Do I have that on here? Let me. Extensions. I don't. I know we keep taking detours, but if you're following me for what I'm here for, then you will. Oh, that's fine. And we'll into toolbar. So we'll go to where is somewhere. Let's go to. Well, we'll go to since we saw it. We'll go to Pepsi.com. Since we know that they have a public bug bounty program. So you see up here in the corner, it started, as soon as we visited this, it started popping up all this stuff, right? So this is a tool, and it tells you about everything that they use. Okay? So it tells you the JavaScript that they use, the platform as a services, the security that they're using, all that, right? This is important too. It tells you what they're using for the bots. But usually it tells you it'll tell you like React, and then it'll say a number. It'll say like jQuery and a number. So then you can go and you can take this information, and then you can type in there like, you know, React whatever the number is that it gives. Some, you know, so again, this one's pretty good. It doesn't give any of the stuff. Let's see if we can. We'll just go to here. Yeah, it's got 15. Let's see here. Oh, it says Knockout JS 3.0. It says jQuery. So let's just, so it's using a JavaScript library. So we go jQuery 1.8.12. 1.8. What? 2? I already forgot. Yep. And then you can just type in vulnerabilities. And then it'll tell you right now. Right? And then so right now we know that because this particular spot has some vulnerabilities, namely cross-site scripting, we can add that to our list of stuff when we're going through our recon, right? And we can say, okay, this particular side or site for under these guys, they use this outdated JavaScript library, and right, so cross-site scripting, prototype pollution, that's generally not something to get, but so we know that we can do that. So it's like a string to pull, right? It's not, doesn't guarantee anything, but it helps you narrow down and find things, and that's kind of what you do. That's why this recon part is so dang important, is so you can find all of this stuff and find all this information out. And like I keep saying in a lot of my videos and live streams, it's all about getting that information so you can systematically test it, because it becomes so confusing. And you see how scatterbrained I am too. So if I'm doing this on a large target and I'm not doing it this way, there is no way that I'm going to be able to keep up with all the info that I come across. And that's what this training is about too. Although I don't think that, at least at the level that I'm at, that they do a very good job of having you note keep and stuff. But then again, they'd have you they'd have your notes persist on their servers, which would open them up to being hacked. Anyway, the DNS lookup tools, did I read that already? I did. We need to stop rereading things. Right? We can consider using multiple search engines to compile a list of publicly known subdomains. One search engine won't be enough, exactly, because sometimes they don't have everything on one. So that's another thing too, is sometimes you might find a website that is it's not even out yet, you know, like if they had one that they were getting ready to release, and sometimes they put it out publicly before they like announce it or whatever officially, you know. And the reverse of that too, they take it off and they obviously not going to say nothing, but you might be able to find some of the stuff that they do. Yeah. DNS queries, DNS dumpster. So I think this is a website, not a command. Maybe it's a command line tool, and nope. So find and look up DNS records. So we're gonna go start the test. test. Okay, so it's got a bunch of stuff for us. IP addresses. And that's another thing to note too. Like sometimes you're going through these and you get lists of domain names and you get lists of IP addresses. Some tools take host names, others take IP addresses only, and then some of them they want the HTTP www, and others you have to take it off. So you're near continuously while you're doing your workflow, collating data, manipulating it, sorting it out, adding things, subtracting things, running them through tools, appending that to a list. It's like that's why the process is so important. I keep saying that too, is because so many people are like, oh, I'm just going to get on here and fire up a tool and that'll get me all the information. It's like, yeah, but you need to take that information and do stuff with it before you're going to be able to find what you need. So here's the NS records. And ASN numbers are important too. So ASN, I can't remember what it stands for, but it's basically like when a company has a range of IP addresses because their network is so large, they have that. So and it also gives you a map of where their system location is. Cool. This is nice. When we saw that down here, it's nice that they do this too. You know, so you can see. So it was asking us about subdomains, and remote is a good one, just because you might be able to access it remotely. Help is not going to be a good one. It's like a standard thing. It's be something that you would type in if you're having problems on the TryHackMe site. Insights, proxy, worker. Now, if they would have left that open, I might have tried that one for the answer, but the remote is better. Okay, on to Shodan. So if I ever start making money off of the streaming or anything like that, this would probably be one of the things that I would get with that. And the reason why is because it's such a valuable search engine. It basically continuously scrapes the internet for new devices that are connected. And that's useful. It just, you'll see, it'll show a bunch of like really useful information. But there's like, I think this one, they probably have like a subscription or a deal with them or something like that. But if I go on that up here to my own stuff, it'll be asking me for like a subscription. And there's one that's like, I can't remember how much it is, but it's like cheap. It's like $50 a year or something. And you get like 1,000 searches on it. And it's not something that I would use too often. But it, like when I would need it or use it, it would be very useful. So when you're tasked to run a penetration test against a specific targets as part of a passive reconnaissance phase, a service like Shodan.io can be helpful to learn various pieces of information about the client's network without actively connecting to it. Furthermore, on the defensive side, you can use different services from Shodan.io to learn about connected and exposed devices belonging to your organization. So in some instances, like you see this a lot, like in some of the major cities, if you go to a capital city or something, and they have those kind of like startup style offices all around. And those people, when they move in, they're like putting in their new security cams or their computers or their routers and stuff like that. And if those things are not properly configured, and if they're not hidden and they're not secured, you can actually go and, get them. It's actually, they have that on here. Come on, man. There is Bill Roots. I want file system, user, share, here, W, wordless, secless. They have passwords. So there is I don't know where you would get it in secless, but there's a password list that contains all of the default, maybe under common, maybe under default credentials. So you can go default passwords for different things. And, this is all like, via SSH, Windows, and Telnet. Those are, MySQL, FTP. But they have these for like your router and everything like that. When you get your router and you flip it over and you gotta know the password. A lot of people don't change that, surprisingly. And if you don't, you're opening you don't configure your router, you're opening yourself up to get hacked and everything. So every few months or so, sometimes sooner, I actually go through and I do firmware updates, or look for firmware updates for all my stuff, make sure everything's on the up and up, I change the passwords and things like that, so that way we can stay ahead of that. So two things kind of got me into the cybersecurity, besides like that I came across and I like it, but like something kind of made me more decide. And one of those was I got hacked and I got my stuff stolen myself, and the hackers were messing with me, stuff like that. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna learn this skill. I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna fuck you up. So just so you know, if you're them, I'm coming for you. It's not if, it's when. Second thing, when I was also doing this, my internet was slow. I wasn't using a default password. I was using something else, but it was a password that the family had been using for a long time. And our internet was extremely slow, and we were paying for like the best stuff. Like there's only one tier above us, and it only gives you like more channels on the TV. It has to do with the TV, not the internet. So we have the best internet that the ISP provides, and our stuff was so freaking slow. And I was like, what the frick is going on? I couldn't figure it out. Well, I started learning about this stuff, and I hooked up a Wireshark to our network, and I started seeing like every couple seconds. And this was like with nobody here. I knew I wasn't on the internet. My computer was off. Nobody else's stuff was on, and nobody was at the house. So it was just me, and I'm just watching this Wireshark, and I had the router pulled up too. And every 2 seconds, this thing from this IP address was like coming into our network. Well, I started looking into it, and somebody was using our stuff for like a botnet. And so I like blocked him. I reported the IP address to the ISP that it was doing, because I looked it up. I went to like Shodan, I went to a bunch of other places to see if, make sure it like wasn't Amazon or some Google service or something that was trying to connect. We don't have any IoT devices here in my house. So I knew it wasn't that, but turns out it was some like government like DDoS service or some dumb thing like that. And I just thought that was really weird. So check your stuff, learn some of this at a minimum, so you can at least protect yourself from some of the things that are going on. So here, like, Shodan tries to connect to every device reachable online, and it's basically an IoT. It's Google for IoT devices, Internet of Things. That's the connected things, right? Yep, it takes all that information. Again, I showed you that what do you call it? That web request that we did real quick, and it shows you all this information. This is normal standard stuff, part of Internet Protocol. You can obviously obfuscate that and change it, make things different. But generally no. So I'll stop twitching the screen there. So this shows a record of a web server, and as mentioned, collects all information related to the device. Final line searching for track.com on Shodan.io will display at least the record shown in the screenshot above. So we'll search try hack me. Let that go. So we've launched a new API for fast vulnerability lookups. Nice. So we go up here and we go servers. Okay. So there are 15,385. And the top country is the United States. USA. Okay, what is the third most common port for Apache? So the common port, we have 443, 8181, and 8081. No? Didn't get that right? Third most common port used for Apache. Did I get it wrong? Nope. 843. What am I doing wrong? Top ports. One, two, three. 8081. Okay. Find the answer. You can search Apache. Thanks, bro. Why don't we just drop the servers and search for what it says for us to search for? Okay. 8080. Okay. See, this is the problem that I run into. Alright, what's the third most common port for Engine X? Engine Z. How about Engine W? Huh? Come on, brother, get with it. Holy crap. Third most common. 1, 2, 3, 888. Alright. So, in summary, yeah, we focused on passive reconnaissance. Covered command line tools, who is, NS lookup, dig, yes, downstream children. And I'm going to take a screenshot of this. So that way, when it comes time to when we go to the challenge, we'll have examples of what we did. And I'm going to save this. Cancel. Don't want you looking at the file system. I know how you are. Okay. We did it, people. Oh, I hate it. We're going to go back to dashboard. We're going to go back to passive reconnaissance. And we're going to shut this machine off. I wish that it would let us or make us do that before we left the room. So, next we're going to go into active reconnaissance. And before we do that, I am going to take a short break. I don't have a be right back screen, so I'm just going to put that initial disclaimer for hacking. But I'll be right back in just a few. Actually, I'll just put this so you guys can listen. All right, we're all good. I'm back. Where are we? One more song left on this playlist, and then we're gonna switch to another one. Just some different music. Alright, in the first room, network security module, we focused on passive reconnaissance. In this second room, they're going to focus on active. So the essential tools related to it. Learn how to use a web browser to collect information about our target. We'll discuss using ping, traceroute, telnet, and netcat. What does this say? We're going to have to start machine. And we should probably start the attack box. And the machine will give us the different IPs to go look at. So it requires you to make some kind of contact with the target. Yep. Yep, see here. Active reconnaissance work before getting signed legal authorization. Right? So you don't want to be doing the stuff that we're going to be doing on these websites unless you have permission. Which we could even though, like, again, this is just recon, but you are interacting with their system. But we could do this on live targets and still, that are on the public bug bounty programs, and still be within scope, or sorry, the guidelines in the TOS. You just don't want to do any kind of thing where it's maybe going to reveal sensitive information or anything like that. And there's plenty of sites that you can go test this stuff on too, like specifically that they let you. Like there's one that's specific for Nmap that the Nmap actually puts up for people to try. So you can go there and you can read the manual and practice all this stuff. So we're not going to get through the whole module if I keep the app in front of my face. I say that, I don't want you to be bored, but I don't know if there's very many people here or not. But either way, we'll keep going along. Get rid of that. Open up another one. Okay. So in this room, focus on active reconnaissance. Begins with direct connections made to the target machine. Might leave information log showing client IP address, time of the connection, duration of the connection, among other things. Not all connections are suspicious. So that's like with Nmap and some of these other ones, it's like normal internet activity. It wouldn't even pop up. Even though Nmap does have a signature, so they probably would flag it. Just to watch you, see what you're doing. So that's how they roll. They gotta protect their stuff. I tell you what though, some sites that I go to, if you have too many damn browsers of their stuff open, they'll kick you off the site. I can't remember which one it was, but I was doing like, I had all these browsers open and I was comparing and contrasting a bunch of different products, and they actually they timed me out of their website for like 30 minutes or something. Pissed me off too, because I was near the end of my stuff. So come on, man. I wasn't doing nothing, I promise. Yeah, if you hear me, if I don't like talk for, you know, a few seconds or whatever, I'm either one, eating a donut or getting a drink, or I heard something outside. I just opened my window to hear to make sure that the whatever animal that got my chickens this morning didn't come back again. Because, you know, I mean, if you lose 8 chickens in a day, which that's the max number that we've ever lost in a single day, that's $3,200, you know, it costs. So a web browser can be a convenient tool, especially really available on all systems. And there are several ways you can use web browser to gain information. This is HTTP, this is HTTPS. Sometimes, although very rarely, you find things that are accessible by this, but this is one of the things that you, when you do end up getting your list of domains, subdomains, etc., that you want to actually do testing on, you do an Mmap scan with port 80 and 443, because sometimes they're doing dev and they forget to close this or take it off the thing, so you find backdoors and stuff like that, or not backdoors, but you can get in sometimes, although very rare. We were just talking about that. I would not consider that active reconnaissance, for me at least, because I'm not interacting with anything. We have this up right now, and it interacted with the website. I didn't do anything to it. I have it on. I can turn it off too, but and the toolbar off. Anyway, proxy, do we have that? We have that here. So this allows you to proxy your traffic into Burp Suite, and you can set up your options, and you can add it, and you can make it do whatever you want. I have this one, my local host, and it transfers it on port 8080, which is what you have to do for Burp Suite in order to be able to use it correctly. And that's for on my own computer. That's not on their stuff. They have a user agent switcher. That's really useful too, because sometimes, like, they're configured differently, right? I mean, you can tell that obviously when you log on or use one of them, how different Chrome looks from Firefox and how different those look from other ones, you know. Appleizer. Browse to the following website. Ensure that you've opened your development tools on the attack box. They have a start thingy. Start. What's the following website? Copy link. Paste. We'll open it on here. I don't really like opening stuff on my computer. I ain't knowing. I protect my identity for y'all's protection. Or, well, for your you crazies out there, your protection. I don't really care. I'm not in any danger. Okay. Ensure you have the developer tools in Attack Box, Firefox. Figure out the total number of questions. There we go, inspect. That's going to give us the work. Reload. Script.js. So if you look up here what it's doing, okay, so we know that they're called Bob and Alice. Total number of questions. Console, debugger. This thing is so freaking dinky. That's another problem with using their stuff. You don't. I have no idea where to look. What's it missing? Okay, script.js under what? File. Dutch ads. Excuse me, questions. God, bro. Okay. Number of questions. 1, 2. Just gonna control F. And look for this. Enter. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's wrong too. Guess it's 8. So I guess that's kind of a miss. Speaking. I hate it when they have us doing stuff on this garbage ass VM. It's all dinky. You can make it bigger. You gotta deal with that crap. Bigger so it's not so difficult to use. You know what I'm saying? Of course I can get better. Okay, get off my screen. Alright, ping pong. Start this machine. This more relaxed. Two. Oh, here too. So this is pinging this IP address 5 times. I don't know why they do this highlighting BS. That's confusing. I remember when I was first going through a lot of this stuff, and they would do shit like this, and it's like, bro, you're making it difficult. I know, but you know, when you make things the same color, it, you know, it means the same things to human brains, right? I use ping all the time. So like sometimes I have, you know, like your network connection down here. Oh, you can't see this one. But down here I have like a little network connection thing. And sometimes it shows that I'm connected. But then when I log on and say like, you don't have internet. And so I'll come over here and I'll go ping 8 you know, ping Google. Or sometimes I will have trouble connecting to my server, so I'll ping and then put my server IP address on for my internal network, and so I can troubleshoot things and see like where my problem is. But technically speaking, ping falls under ICP. There's nothing wrong with ping. They have this under that, you know, active reconnaissance, and don't do it without legals. But ping, like just like they said here, it's not technically speaking, literally speaking, ping falls under this protocol. Network engineers and other people in tech use that all the time to do stuff. It's not considered hacking. Now, if you sat there and you did that a bunch of times, and you start using up server requests, like say you made a bot that pings the server, you know, millions of times, and then you made a bunch of bots that did that all the time, you can actually take their stuff down because they're getting so much queries. Bringing you up, and I'm banning you. Most of the people that come in and chat in my chat so far are people trying to sell their, I've made stuff for famous streamers. I'll make your overlays and your tiles and stuff like that. So if that's you, I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. But there are two people that are ahead in line. The first person that ever asked me that, number one, but also the person that made my avatar. So my little avatar right here. Those two people I would go to first before anybody else. If you want my Discord, it's in the description of my profile that you can go find. And when you click on it, I clicked on it, tested it on a linked account or a different computer, and it works just fine. So if you want to contact me, I'm there. And then all the other people have been, or most of the other people have been we'll make you famous, come over here and do this. Like those people, if I see you, I'm gonna ban you. Number one, because you're evading the chat bot moderation stuff that I have by typing it the way you are. But secondly, the only people that make you famous would be the viewers. And I don't really care if I'm famous or not. I don't care if I'm popular or not. Matter of fact, I would bet money that if I became unpopular, that I would gain in viewership. But that's not what I'm about. I don't care about that. I'm here to do what we're doing, and the dev streams, the hacking primarily, dev streams secondary, and then gaming. But that's just because I'm streaming what I'm doing. But I don't care about any of that. So if you're coming to me, talking to me about that bullshit, I don't care. I don't give one fuck at all about any of that. Matter of fact, I think that that would be the worst thing that could ever happen to me. Truly. You know, I see what a lot of those bigger streamers they go through. They got to deal with all the BS. They got to deal with all the people trying to mess with them, trying to, you know, I ain't about that. So we're going to ping this IP address, ping, if I can spell it right. I can't wait till my new keyboard gets here. We're doing ping-c flag for count. We're going to ping it 10 times, excuse me, 10. This is the IP address, 10.65. 9.244. Okay. That's because I did it wrong. Okay. We're going to ping that IP address, 10. I was wondering why there was 5 octets and not 4. There we go. That's one ping. Come on. Do another. It's taking forever. We'll let that do its thing. We might end up having to. So we got 100% packet loss on that. Did we get the IP address right? 1065.159.244. Why don't we do that again? We'll do 5 of them, just to make sure. Maybe it was... We don't want to have problems. That's for sure. So we have 100% packet loss. I don't know why. Let's go. 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go -C, and we'll do 3 times. Okay. So that's weird. So we're able to ping we're able to ping Google, which that's Google's IP, right? And we got 3, but we aren't able to ping the site that it gave us. And I don't know why. Sometimes it just does that. We might have to terminate that box and then reopen it again. I'm not sure. So which option would you use to set the size of data carried out by the ICMP packets? Is that -C? Because that's the only flag that you guys gave us. I think so. No? Which option would you use to set the size of the data carried? What do I get for not looking? Don't tell me it's -N. I hate it when they do shit like this. Good. What are you asking? Use the man ping. Oh, okay. Hold on, let me go back up here and see. I'm gonna pick apart their stuff, but I know about me, but I don't see anywhere where they're talking about. Going the main. I don't. They don't. They don't talk about anything about that. But we'll look at it. So, packet size. -S. What is the size of ICMP header in bytes? Eight. Oh. It is 8. Does MS Windows Firewall block ping by default? I think it do. Yep. Because I have run into that where I've pinged my Windows bot. It's like, yeah, no. Don't do enough of that. Alright, deploy the VM for this task. Attack box and issue the command. How many ping replies did you get back? I got freaking 0. I did it. Alright, so we'll do it this time. Maybe it'll work this time. Okay, so we're going to go ping -C 10 10.65 224. Oh, now all of a sudden it wants to work. I don't know. So that means we got 10. 10 received, 0% packet loss. That's really weird. I wonder if they had something that made it where like I was answering these questions and then it allowed us to do that. Because y'all saw me do that. I have video evidence. I typed the command in, then I typed it wrong, then I got it right, and it said 100% packet loss. Look, we can go up here. Look. 1065 159 244. See? Same. Not different. Same. Okay? 10 packets, 0 received. 100% packet loss. 2 times in a row. That's weird. Let me try Google. Yep, Google works. That's really weird. And then now it wants to do it for us. Huh? What's going on here? Trace route. Traces the route taken by packets to your system and the host. The purpose of trace route is to find the IP address of the routers or hops that a packet takes. Right? So that's like it goes from where I'm at to my router to my ISP, out to Google, out to another router, then to the website, and then back. So that's kind of what it's saying. And that's actually one of the ways that, black hat hackers will actually obfuscate their stuff. If one of these nodes represents a server, they'll be on there and they'll have like a onion router server or a VPN server, and they'll obfuscate their IP address and their MAC address here. They'll send it to that server, and then the next server doesn't have your computer information, and if it does, it has the fake stuff, but usually it doesn't. And then it's called proxy chaining, and then you can run it through a series of servers, and then each time So that when it gets to this website and you do the hacking stuff, when they do the investigation, they have to go to this server and this server and this server, and so it takes a long time. And then when they get there, it's like, no, it was a different IP, it was a different MAC address. But that's still nearly impossible. Still nearly impossible to do. So on Linux, traceroute will start by sending you UDP datagrams within IP packets of time to live being 1. This causes the first router to encounter a time to live 0 and to send ICMP time to live exceeded back, since TTL of 1 will be reveal the IP address to the first router. So then they'll send another packet with TTL 2. So, okay. Examples, same command. So there you go. Trace route, DRACEROUTE. I spelled it correctly, thank you. Okay. So from this one to that one, seems like there's 10 jumps. One router hop. So we have 10 router hops on ours. Okay. I'm assuming, okay, that's traceroute B, this is traceroute C, or A, excuse me. 172. What is the IP address of the last router hop before reaching? This one. 99. But that's not going to be right because it's going to be 3223. There's a lot of stuff like this in TryHackMe too. Like, kind of funny, like a give you kind of thing, but I don't like having my time wasted. I can waste my own time. Thank you very much. Please stop doing the haha gotcha stuff. Tis annoying. Telnet Network, Teletype Network, 1969. This is the oldest form of like SSH RDP. Back when the internet was just the military and IBM. Like these things, I remember too when I was a kid, like some of the stuff you have to do now for like password bypass. I mean, you can't do it now, not on a lot of systems. Very rarely can you get past it, but when I was a kid, you used to be able to go on Yahoo forums and you used to be able to search through all these forum posts talking about how to do all that. And it was as simple as like pressing a button. And then you typed, like in the terminal, it was something like / bypass or something like that. And then that's all you did and you were past everything. It was that simple. That's not good. Okay. So it was talking about. request account. Okay, so it was requesting the thing from us, but we took it off. Why didn't that work? Reasonably assume it's okay. I guess we'll try that again. Sometimes it hangs up. Figure it out. Okay, we'll try the second one. This time we'll go get page.html http port 1.1 and we'll go host example. Page not found. At least we didn't get a we'll try the first example that we did. And we'll go get one host. That's better. So we just had to, be better. Apache. And 2.4.61. There we go. Netcat. Go down here and see if start the VM attack box. So we're going to go ahead and terminate this one. Just in case it's different. Sometimes they're different. Alright. Netcat is a useful tool. I have actually one of the books that I have called Black Hat Python. One of the exercises is that you code up a Netcat. And it was actually surprisingly simple. I mean, as far as, I think I'm a new coder, so it's all kind of complicated to me and don't understand a lot of it. Just like the weaving of the syntax, have things down here in the code that reference things up here in the code that reference things over there in the code. And it's just like this whole, it's like the Spider-Man meme with them all pointing toward each other. And it gets kind of confusing at times. So Netcat, or simply NC, has different applications that can be of great value to a pen tester. Netcat supports TCP and UDP protocols. Functions as a client that connects to a listening port. Alternatively, it can act as a server that listens on a port of your choice. Hence, it is a convenient tool that you can use as a simple client or server of TCP or UDP. First, you can connect to a server as you did with Telnet to collect its banner. Okay, port. So why don't we do that right now? We go Netcat 10.65.173. 418 over 480. And it doesn't do anything for us. You might need to press Shift Enter after the get line. Well, it didn't ask us for a get line, bro. That cat. Do that. I doubt that is like this, because listen port, better yet, NVL in numeric propose numeric listening port. That's probably why. No. Do that. Stop being difficult. Okay, so we're going to do a netcat 10.65 750 18 420. Get start the VM and open the DAC box. Once the box closes, use the netcat to connect to the VM. We're doing netcat 6517318 Get after this. Okay, so we need to do wants to set up a listener. Let me do that again. There we go. RPM 6.4. So it doesn't want us to create a freaking TCP. Just says connect. When you do that, I wonder if we just hit enter. Okay, I get it now. Step thing. Come on. This thing really irritating. Go away. Do that again. And then we go get HTTP 1.1. We go shift enter. Saying on port 20. Yeah, port 21. 21. That cat. IP address. Port. Yeah, did that. Be entering it. FTP server. We're going to say get HTTP. Shift. might need to set up a listener. User and password. All right, hit it again. Messing something. I think that's what we have to do. Number. We seriously. Irritate me. What do I need to do? Oh my God. What a pain in the ass. I do that all the time. So the answer was sitting right here, right? But for some reason, I was thinking, it's like up here where I had to type in this get, this host, right? Just like I did for port 80. And so I started trying to do that on port 21. And then I'm like, oh no. So it was telling us, oh, maybe we need to set up a Netcat listener so we can type on one and make it show us what the response was in the other. No, that wasn't it. So I was trying all kinds of different combinations of this, that, and the other thing, wondering why I was typing get this, and it was saying that, you might need to go shift enter, and then it was like, oh, command not understood, and I'm like, okay, host name or whatever, host, and it still wasn't working. Oh, that was irritating so bad. And the whole time, the answer was right to frick here. I can find, while walking around, little subtle changes in terrain, tracking, and IED wires and stuff like that. But my brain ignores stuff like that. It irritates me. So in this room, we have covered many various tools. I'm not ever going to use the Telnet. Barely use Traceroute. I don't have a use for it. I'm not a network engineer. The only time I would use that would be to ensure if proxy servers. So in this room, we have covered many various tools. It's easy to put them together via shell script and build a primitive networking system scan. Yeah, you can do that. You can also use the Netcat to exfiltrate files from target servers if you needed to. And that's why I bought that Black Hat Python book. It teaches you how to make a Netcat clone. So it does what Netcat does. And the reason for that is because a lot of times you'll go on to these systems, and if you're doing a pen test, and they'll have that disabled, but they won't have Python disabled, so you'll be able to make one. And then once you make one, you can exfiltrate data or upload data. Basically, like if somebody had a mine that was near your property, and you dug underneath the ground, and you dug a tunnel to their mine. It's that sort of thing. So again, we're going to take a screenshot of this for our future thing that we're going to do, because remember, there's a challenge at the end of this. Here, we'll save this. Let me save it. Okay. Yeah, see, not really good. Okay. We have one more room to get back up to where we were. There's some time yet since I took a short break to go take my dog out and myself too. I can still talk. I was just eating a donut. Okay. So we mentioned the difference to the different techniques we can use scanning in task 1, where we explain in detail. Put those into use against a live target, we need to specify targets we can scan. Generally speaking, you can provide a list or a range or a subnet. Example of a target specification are machine IP, scanme.internet.org, scan free IP addresses. So, I think. Of course, I'm wrong. Was it 8? Yep, I was off by 1. I didn't count right. Alright, how many IP addresses will you have scanned if you provide the following? 101 to 25. That'd be Does it want you to write out the thing? Oh, okay. It wants us to actually run it. Thank you. It's a buttload of targets. Pure wand. Goes a lot quicker when I'm not yapping. Although I still get hung up on dumb stuff. You're supposed to be fine. That's how I roll. It's what I'm about. That was my hoodie zipper. Go getting excited. Okay. I've never used the PE or PM or PP flags in Nmap for any scans that I've done. It's always been like this one here, the PS, SN, LS, SL, SS, and then, like, you know, one of them's capital, one of them's not usually. So, well, I don't remember this because it's literally not used a lot by someone that does what I'm doing. One needs a privileged account. I think that's the same. And privileged users. TCP this one. I've never used any of these. I've never used the ARP, the ICMP Echo, none of that. It's always the Dash SL. Excuse me, the other ones, like that first set of stuff that you saw when I was doing Nmap Dash H. That's generally what you use. Dash SN, the ping one, Dash SS, Dash SL. Those ones, the Dash A, usually specify the port number too. So, in the space of the 3 hours that we've been on here, I know it's been 3.5, but I took a break for about a half hour or so in total. Over the couple times I took a break. So we've now ended up right back exactly where we were. So now I'm up to speed again by doing those. These always take me a lot longer than I think. Of course, during this time I spent probably 15 minutes to 45 minutes talking about other stuff that was related, or I don't want to view your debrief. Anyways, so I still have an hour of coding left, but I'm gonna get off here. I might come back and do that hour of coding on stream, just to, so I have extra video for extra things. It will be working on my app and implementing the changes that I found for some of the stuff that I've got now. Like, so what I've got right now is I've got like a list, and it's and then it has like like a bunch of values. Right, like that. Excuse me. And then I have a empty list, or empty dictionary. And then I have down here like a for loop for I list. And then I have it set to where it adds, input. What it was like a F key. Something like this. Sorry, it's hard to type when you're not in your IDE, and it doesn't do all that stuff for you. Oh, and then right here it had right. So basically what it did was this would loop over each item in this list, and it would say, for this value, what would you want to enter? And then it would loop over the next one until there was no more in there, and then it would print out the dictionary. Maybe this is the corrected version that I got. It'd print that out. Like that. Anyway, I'm not trying to do this overly crazy, but I found an implementation that worked better. That is, it's really, really friggin' similar, but it just does better. The only thing that I am running into now is that some of these values need to be, some of them are strings, some of them are integers, etc., etc. So I need to figure out how to implement that. But my plan was that I'm doing this for each category. So this is going to end up, what I don't have implemented, because I just have this code, is each one of these categories. I have to write one for each one of the categories, number one. And it's all going to be its own function, right? And then underneath these functions will be each one of these for the categories. Then, because these all need to be replicatable, all of those functions I'm going to have to eventually put into a class. Right? And then underneath of this class is going to have all of these functions. So each one of these will be different, and it will do a different thing and have a different thing. It'll have its own list as values to iterate over. Then it will have its own for loop to add to this. And this is very like rudimentary stuff. And again, like I'm saying, what I'm running into is that some of these are numbers and floats even. So I want to be able to change the data type to the specific thing that it is, But I also want to get these all done up, and I want to get them in a class. And right now I'm just looking to try to do command line stuff, right? So I'll go ahead and log out here. But right now I just want to do some command line stuff, because if at a minimum, what I would end up having to do is, let me go here, is to go to TK enter, right? So I would have to make this up too, which I might do that just as an initial thing, so that way I can get a like a general, very basic, we're talking like one of these, right? It's gonna, I mean, like TK enter, it looks like these boxes here, right? Very simple, nothing crazy. You can make them look good. So I have just created like a couple boxes and did like a couple calculators with TK enter. It was a long time ago, but damn, if I could get it to look like that, I'd be happy. It's just something that I would be happy with, right? And it's just a matter of rounding the corners and making the colors the way that you want it to be or whatever. That would be cool too. Something like that, right? Because I want it to be usable. I don't want it to look like some, a lot like if you go into, college and some of these science classes and some of these things that you use, it's they don't look good. So I might end up I need to code something for that, just because I want to get that functionality into a GUI, like so I can physically see it, right? It's almost like kind of the reason why I wanted to code up a game, is because I'm going to be able to see the results of my stuff right off the bat. But more importantly than all of that would be to have a functional code that actually works. Regardless, I'm going to get off here for a minute. I do a little bit of things. I'm talking like maybe an hour or so, because I only have to do an hour of coding or whatever, and then I'll come back on here. I'll do an hour of coding, and I have to go cook some dinner, so I'll get off again, and then maybe I'll be back. Maybe I'll just wait until after I'm done with dinner and then come on back for you guys and do instead of doing like a video game stream, we'll do maybe like an hour or two extra coding or something. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I always get on here and say, oh, it's going to take me this long to do this. Yeah, just like I said, I was like, oh, we'll be done with this this whole room in 3 hours, and then it took me 3 hours just to get the refresher back up to where I was at. So those rooms generally take an hour, but regardless, anyway, happy to be here. I'll be live a little bit later to do some coding. If not coding, I'll be live to do some video gaming. I do want to get more dev streams and more hacking streams than I do games, just because I don't want my stuff to be about games. But anyway, I'll see y'all in a bit. Bye-bye.